RV owners, when you're walking through these dealerships, looking at all these different RVs, you're gonna see lots of different makes, models. You're gonna be told a lot of different information and features that each one has. My goal is to educate you and create a much better buying experience for you and to help teach you the do's and don'ts and things to look out for. So here's 5 tips you should follow when buying a new RV. Number 1 is going to be know what you want before you even walk into the dealership. My recommendation to you is to watch online reviews and look through floor plans. And in today's day and age, that's actually pretty simple because we have people like the RV Hunter, Matt's RV Reviews, Josh the RV Nerd, you have Savvy About Campers. There are tons of people out there doing reviews on all of these new units, doing complete walkthroughs, showing you the ins and outs of them. My opinion is that when you walk into a dealership, you should already know exactly what floor plan you want, which model you want. You should know all of that already, because otherwise this is all going to be extremely overwhelming. There are, just at this dealership alone, hundreds of different floor plans to go through, and most dealerships don't let you just wander the lot and walk in and out of them to find the perfect one. So following the online reviews and tours is one of your best bets for that. RV shows are another good choice because you're able to actually get in and walk through them and check them all out and make sure they meet your needs. But the key here is to know what you want when you walk in the door. Don't let them try and push something else onto you. Now, my experience at the dealership is the units that they're trying to push to you, that the salesperson is trying to get you to buy, is usually the units that have been aged on the lot, that didn't sell well, because they're getting incentives to get those aged units off the lot. So when they tell you that it is their pick, it's the perfect one for you, what they really mean is it is the perfect one for them to clear their lot of the old units. The next one is going to be know what they are selling you. Now, there's a lot of different things in the RV industry, but here's the thing, most of them are the same. Now, when it comes to things like tankless water heaters, they're really all the same. There's a few different brands that really conquer the market. The most common ones, as far as tankless that you're gonna see, are gonna be your Furrion units, your Girard units. There's the rare occasion you'll see a Truma unit, and then of course some of the other ones that have been popping up like Fogatti. So when you're looking into the unit and you're seeing appliances like this, look into the appliance, look into those accessories, look at what their reliability is. You can find the exact make and model of each one. They're all listed on the build spec for all of the units. So just be aware of what they're selling you and be aware of what its capabilities are. Salespeople often like to overinflate the capabilities of things that are on your RV, and you're gonna wanna know those limitations before somebody sells you something that it isn't. A really good example of that would be your awning. Now, salespeople might tell you, oh, this is great, you can sit out in the rain and all that, and that's actually very far from the truth. If you listen to the industry professionals and the manufacturers of these products, they will tell you that, no, this is nothing more than a sunshade. It's not made to handle any kind of wind or heavy rain. Honestly, in my opinion, any of those pamphlets or anything that come with an RV or that the dealer gives you and tries to tell you all these fantastic things about the unit, you should educate yourself on them first. Know what it is they're trying to sell you and know what its capabilities are before you're oversold on something and you end up being extremely disappointed the first time it storms and your awning is laying on top of your roof and the awning arms are on the ground. This next one here is absolutely one of my favorites, and it is do not let a dealer try and convince you or tell you that you do not need a third-party inspection. There's a lot of times dealers will tell you, well, we do our own inspection, we have our own quality control process, we have a whole facility that does quality control and PDI. And just to kind of back this statement, not only do I do third-party inspections now and find tons of issues that were not found by the dealership, I was not only a technician who once worked in the PDI department, I also worked my way up to actually running the department that did PDIs. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, there are tons of things that are missed on a PDI. It is not a thorough inspection. That inspection is for the dealership, not you. That inspection is to make sure that the unit is capable of going out the door. That's about all that inspection is, and they're gonna miss a lot. There's not enough time to do it. It's rushed through. It's gone through by some of the most inexperienced techs. And by inexperienced, I mean it is the techs who just started. They are at the bottom of the ladder at the dealership. Those are the ones typically doing PDIs. I understand this may not be how every dealership and sales center works, but that is how a majority of them work. And a third-party inspection is going to protect you against that stuff. A third-party inspector is usually a dealership's worst nightmare. And again, I'm speaking from experience. When I ran that department, it was always a big head dropper when you knew a third-party inspection was coming, because you knew you couldn't miss anything. You knew we were going to have to go back through it, fix a bunch of stuff. That was typically how that conversation went when we found out a third-party inspector was involved. And being on the end that I am now, being completely independent and doing third-party inspections, I've had customers flat out tell me, well, hey, I called the dealership and they said it's not necessary, or the dealership is kind of being sketchy about a third-party inspector coming in there, or they're trying to charge the customer an exorbitant amount of money to have a third-party inspection come in. Those are all red flags, immediate red flags. If the dealership is trying to tell you you don't need a third-party inspection, or they don't want them there, or they're trying to create roadblocks for the third-party inspector to come in. That alone should tell you all you need to know. Don't skip on the third-party inspection, and don't work with a dealer who's not willing to let you have a third-party inspector come in. They should be completely open door. If their units are gone through and are as high quality as they say, then they should have no problem allowing a third-party inspector to come in. Because here's the thing, if anything, all you're gonna do is make the dealership money. If I go find 20 warrantyable line items on a third-party inspection, all that stuff should be fixed before the client comes to pick the unit up. And guess what? The dealer gets to bill all of that stuff over to warranty, but that's not what they want. They want you to take the unit home, so that way when you come drop it back off, they're under no obligation to fix it, and it's going to sit there for 8 months before they fix all of the things that they missed on their own PDI. So don't skip that inspection, and do not let a dealer bully you out of getting one. The next one is going to be your walkthrough. If your dealer is not willing to offer you a walkthrough, in other words, have it set up just like this, slides open, lights on, air conditioners running, walk away fast. I know not all dealers are like this, but there are some dealers out there who will literally just hand you the keys after you sign paperwork and tell you to have a great day. Your dealer should allow you to walk through the unit, move the slides around, make sure the fridge is cold, make sure the air conditioners work, should be water flowing. Not all dealers do this. Now, the dealer I worked at, we at least did that. We did a full walkthrough. They're going to show you how everything works. It's not going to be a full, several hour tutorial, but you're going to get a run through of the thing, and you're going to be able to go through and set your expectations. During this walkthrough, set those expectations. Now, the day of delivery isn't always the day that you're taking it home. So if you go and you do a walkthrough and look around this unit and you find the air conditioner has a funny rattle you're not happy with, the slide room seems a little cattywampus and doesn't seem straight, and you've got a shade that won't go up, set it as an expectation and tell them, I'm not picking this unit up until those things are fixed. Don't let them tell you, oh, just take it home and go find a bunch of other issues and bring it back for warranty. No, set that expectation that you want the unit in its best condition before you take it home. Because again, once you leave that property and you've signed that paperwork, that unit is yours, and they are under no obligation to fix any of that stuff. Just because they hold your warranty does not mean they need to prioritize you, which is oftentimes why people buy an RV and then it sits at the dealership for the first year, because it's not a priority. Their priority is doing customer pay units, getting big tickets out of the way, and of course selling more units. So make sure, for one, you get a walkthrough. 2, you're able to actually test and make sure things are working. And 3, make sure you're setting that expectation, a very hard line, that these things need to be fixed before I pick it up. Otherwise, there's no deal. Otherwise, they're just going to bully you. They're going to convince you that, oh, we're going to take care of you. Just go take it on that shakedown trip and then drop it back off and we'll have it all fixed in a jiffy. I've almost never seen that happen. That's not how it works. Doesn't sound right? Get a second opinion. Don't believe them, because they're going to try and, oh, that's normal. That's how that is. That's this, that's that. Get a second opinion and make sure you stick to that boundary and you tell them, hey, we're not picking this up till it's done, and don't do it. That's the problem, is a lot of people end up just caving in and going to pick it up, and it ends up being their worst nightmare. You're the one spending thousands and thousands of dollars of your money, so you set the expectations. And last but not least, we have one of my favorites. Don't like it? Don't take it. It's as simple as that. Don't let them use their sales tactics, because I've heard them all. Oh, this is the last one. You'll never get this deal again after this show. The dealer down the street is this much and blah, blah, blah. Don't let them bully you into making a decision that you know is wrong. If you don't like the unit and there was some issues, you go to look at it again and they claim they fixed it and things just still don't seem right, back out of the deal. It's as simple as that. Here's the thing, I've seen so many people end up driving away on a nightmare deal for $150,000, sometimes more. On motorhomes, you get into several $100,000 because they didn't want to lose their deposit, whether that deposit be $1,500, $2,000. Here's the thing, I'll be 100% honest with you. In some cases, if you don't get a lawyer and you don't do all that legal stuff, you might lose your deposit. But look at it the same way I look at third-party inspections. I've done third-party inspections where 20 minutes into the inspection, we've determined the roof is bad, and I call the customer and tell them, hey, this thing's trash, I'll prorate the price. And some people might look at it as, well, they just lost $200 hiring you to go out and inspect a unit they didn't buy. And the way I see it is, no, they just saved thousands of dollars by not buying a nightmare unit. So if it doesn't seem right, don't take it home, because again, once you sign that paperwork and you leave the property, it's yours. It's the end of the deal. It's done. Lemon law and all that stuff does not really exist in our industry. So if it doesn't seem right and they're not working with you and you're just not comfortable with the deal, walk from it. If you lose $2,500 over it, you lost $2,500. It's far better than losing $150,000, $250,000, $300,000 on a motorhome or even a larger fifth wheel that is an absolute dumpster fire because you didn't want to risk losing the $2,000. I know that sucks to say. I don't want to lose $2,000. I'm sure you don't want to lose $2,000, but it is far better than losing the cost of the entire RV when the thing turns out to be a complete nightmare and there's nobody there to help you. If you follow these simple RV buying tips, I promise you your experience is going to go a lot better. You're going to have a much better outcome on your deal. Because let's face it, if the deal starts off bad and everything goes sour from the beginning, you're never really going to enjoy that unit to begin with, because you're always going to have that sour taste in your mouth. And if you guys like this video and you want to see more tech tips, tricks, and even some tours and RVs like this one, make sure you guys are pressing that subscribe button.